Did he get a special award because it was the lightest tackle fish?
Yeah.
Hey, Rick, what happened today?
Caught a 70-pound tuna on a 25-pound test
Damn, a rental rod.
on a rental rod.
Do you know what you're doing?
No.
Hey, wait.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's okay. I know what I'm doing. Good job, Rick.
Thank you. That's a beautiful fish.
That is a beauty, man.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, where the surf is definitely up. In fact, since so many of you have subscribed to the Friedman Adventures family, our budget has gone way up. I've been able to hire all of these surfers to provide entertainment for you all during the morning briefing this morning. Wow, do we have a lot to talk about? There is absolutely tremendous fishing going on right now. Limits of bluefin tuna, the rule for boats based out of San Diego all the way up to the Channel Islands. They're all fishing the same area, Tanner and Cortez Bank, but man, is it good. In fact, the Freedom already on their way to limits this morning. The Thunderbird out of Davies Locker, Sportfishing in Newport Beach, already on their way to limits. It is flat good, and there are some big nighttime fish also being taken. We're going to take you down and talk long range. We'll talk south of the border. We'll take you up and down the coast and cover the islands here in Southern California. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good or what? And is it great to be with you all? Thank you so much for hitting that like button. It means the world to us. Share these videos with a friend. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. And of course, tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. It's always a pleasure to be with you all. Let's talk long-range fishing first of all. Down there around Alejos Rocks and surrounding area, great fishing on wahoo. There's great yellowtail action going on. 40 to 70 pound yellowfin tuna have been biting. And then long-range boats on the way home have been going into the Baja coast in some areas that don't get fished all that often. And they found more yellowtail and great calico bass fishing and some white sea bass. It is really good on the 7 and 8 day trips out of San Diego as they make their way down the Baja Peninsula, several hundred miles, and all the boys have been getting in on it. It has been really spectacular. Let's talk Baja. And again, I just want to tie in what's going on down in Cabo and La Paz, where their season is very, very late. And we're wondering out loud, is our season similar to that? Are we going to experience a late season? Maybe some late season albacore. Maybe the sand bass will show up here around San Pedro and Long Beach area. Down there in Cabo and La Paz, they're catching roosterfish, which they normally would be catching during the springtime. So a little bit late on that. And the Dorado bite just starting to get going down there in La Paz. That's very late for that to be happening. They've had some cooler water, and we're just wondering out loud if this phenomenon is going to stretch out about 1,000 miles from there all the way up in here to Southern California. As we take a look in some other areas, Cedros Island providing great yellowtail action for guys who are flying down to Cedros. Bola, Bay of Los Angeles, excellent Dorado, still lots of yellowtail. Baqueta, Cabrera, really great fishing in the Bay of LA. And also we're seeing kind of that late season kind of vibe down there in Ensenada, which is a 70-mile drive south of the border right there at San Isidro, California. You drive down to Ensenada, beautiful drive, by the way. You see the Coronado Islands, and you'll see that rugged, pristine, gorgeous Baja coast as you drive down. Stop for a fish taco or two. I digress. I'm getting carried away. I'm talking myself into jumping in the car and heading to Mex right now. Wonderful fishing, but it differs almost from day to day. Offshore, there's some bluefin tuna. They're a little reluctant to bite some days. Other days they bite. They jump on those trolled Mad Mac lures or little dart jigs like a, Daiwa Sakana 120 gram or a Colt Sniper, something like that. Big bonito offshore, some yellowtail on the kelp patties. Every day is different. Some days they bite, some days they don't. Inshore, some good calico and sand bass fishing. Those yellows get up under the birds. You run over there fast, run and gun fishing, we call it, and throw a surface iron. That's also been a lot of fun down there in Ensenada. At times, that's very good. Flurries of barracuda, some of that big bonita, occasional halibut, and plenty of delicious eating rockfish down there. So good opportunities south of the border. No question about it. Hey, in September, Friedman Adventures has teamed up with a guide. We will be fishing inside LA Harbor, Long Beach Harbor, where you can find wide open bass fishing, catch halibut, and so many other species. We're going to have 2 and 4 hour trips. If you'd like to come out and fish with yours truly, please send me a text and we'll book you up starting in September, fishing inside the harbor with yours truly. That's going to be a lot of fun. 657-227-6459. Just send me a text, tell me you're interested. I'll send you all the details and we'll book you up for a really fun fishing adventure. All right, let's talk bluefin tuna. And man, it can't get much better. And we're talking about boats that run out of San Diego base landings all the way up to the Channel Islands because they're fishing Tanner Cortez. And it's almost about the same distance no matter where you leave from. Great fishing going on 10 to 30 pound bluefin tuna in the daytime. It can't get much better. Every once in a while, you'll get a bigger fish, as you saw on the lead-in on board the Amigo. That was a great trip for Ernie Montano, my dear friend, who had a 2.5-day trip on the Amigo out of 22nd Street landing in San Pedro, California. It was flat. Great fishing going on. I mean, it can't get much better than it was. On board the Amigo, Jim Valenzuela was there. I fished with Jim. On board the Independence, we had a great trip together. But Ernie's nephew, who happens to be a Delta pilot, his name is Rick Duggan. You saw him on the lead-in catch that nice big grade bluefin tuna. He even said, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know how to catch these things. So he did a really nice job on a superior grade bluefin tuna. 25-pound test, and once again, rental rod material. So really great fishing going on Tanner and Cortez Bank as more surfers are walking by and having a wonderful day at the beach and covering their faces so they're not seeing, they don't realize the camera is pointing at yours truly. So really, really crazy times down there. There's a lot of surfers having a lot of fun. Good fishing out there on Tanner Cortez. As I mentioned previously, the Freedom limits of bluefin tuna already. The Thunderbird limits of bluefin tuna. Ranger 85 limits of bluefin tuna. And Chuck Zimmer, the president of the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club, is on board that very special trip. And they are putting the wood to them with great fishing going on. Again, 25-pound fluorocarbon, 30-pound fluorocarbon. Sometimes they'll bite the heavier, but that 25 and a good hot bait that you're working and changing regularly makes all the difference in the world. I'm loving what's going on. Apollo, C4 Sportfishing. We have a 2-day trip in September that's almost full. They had limits of bluefin tuna. The Islander, wide open, and they're catching big fish also. You know Tim Marquez? Yeah, A Best Income Tax. Tim's got a friend on board the Islander, Brennan Willett. He had 2 fish over 140 pounds, several other fish over 40 pounds, yellowtail to go along with it. Great trip on board the Islander, and happy to see Tim's friend Brennan having so much fun on that trip. So really great stuff. Pegasus, 28 fish over the 100-pound mark if you think they're all small. Tomahawk, 32 over the 100-pound mark. The Pacific Queen had a phenomenal trip here recently with all kinds of, well, let's just say copious amounts of fish over the 100-pound mark. It is flat, as good as you could possibly want it. This is a dream sport fishing scenario. Southern California is the envy of the sport fishing community, and I'm talking worldwide. This is that good. Don't get complacent. Don't take this for granted. Someday it may be gone, and you're going to pine away and have your grandson on your knee saying, I remember, Sonny, when, you know, that whole BS thing. So, you know, really, you got to take this with a huge dose of gratitude. It is awesome fishing, really good stuff. So you're definitely going to want to have some heavier jigs for fishing at night. I talked to Max on board the Highliner. Max likes that 300 to 350 gram. Sometimes you'll need 400 if you get some wind and current. but that heavier kind of jig at night has been working good. 100-pound spectra, definitely 200-pound bite leader, and you are in there. You get a mix of fish, man. It's really good fishing. Those big yellows sometimes bite on Cortez Bank. That is still a real deal. Really good stuff going on. Kelp patties out of San Diego. There's still a little bit of fish around. You think that would pop into gear again, but maybe it's late. Maybe the Dorado are going to show up in the fall. That's why I have 2 fall trips booked. That one in September on the Apollo, and then an October trip on the Amigo. Can't wait for those. Liberty, 35 guys, 16 yellowtail, 3 Dorado. San Diego, 31 yellowtail, and a bluefin tuna. Not bad. Picking away at the yellows, occasional bluefin tuna, occasional Dorado offshore. Let's talk islands now, but before I do, if you have unfiled taxes, I just mentioned Tim Marquez to you. You're going to want to give Tim a call right now. Tim's a trusted Friedman Adventures family member. He's been doing income tax for 35 years. He's your man. And also, if you have heating and or air conditioning needs, you are going to want to talk to our friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. He will make all those problems disappear in a moment's notice. Give John a call today. Great to be with you. Coronado Island slower than it has been, but there's still some yellows there. Private boaters are able to get limits of yellows at the islands right now. Sport boats struggling a little bit more. That bite will bounce back. I'm hoping. It's been a phenomenal year at the Coronado Islands. Fly line bait, 25-pound fluorocarbon, working really, really well there. Good hot bait, and you're in. And there's some bigger yellows also on the mint kind of surface iron, tatty 45-ish kind of jig. Works really, really well. At San Clemente Island, it's so close to the bluefin tuna area that most boats are out there. Guys, though, still dropper loop fish sometimes. Not much anymore. They're on that bluefin, but there's still that yellowtail in Pyramid Cove. There's still some squid there, and you can dropper loop with 50-pound and a big old hook like a 5/0 hook and an 8-ounce torpedo and catch some really nice big yellowtail. No question about it. Hey, where did these guys go? Oh, yeah, they're still there. Paying them top dollar. So some good fishing there. Good bass fishing during the daytime. Nothing wrong with the bite at Clemente. Catalina Island, kind of scratchy right now. You know, a few yellows here and there. Calico bass, bonita, you know, that kind of stuff. But that doesn't stop father and son from having a really great trip. And I'm talking about Sam De La Torre from Tackle Shop Confessions at Island Fishing Tackle in beautiful Carson, California. My co-host on Monday nights. We have such a good time. But he got out with his son Diego, and they had a magical time on the water. Diego with a nice sheephead and a beautiful bonita. Way to go, Diego. So proud of you. Now it's time to get back to school and kick some butt academically. But what a great day. Sunny, warm, beautiful weather. Sam said it was a day to remember. Cal Huerta was out there on board the Native Sun yesterday. Haven't seen you for a while, Cal. It's good to see you out there. Said it was just kind of picky, scratchy. Nice day on the water, but nothing really to write home about. So Cat kind of, you know, lots of fun, but the fishing kind of scratchy right now. Don't forget, if you want to go to Catalina Island, do it in style on a limited load trip on board the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing. They will provide you with a sport fishing memory that you will not soon forget. El Patron, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. All right, up in the Channel Islands, there are still some really good hits going on white sea bass and halibut. We've seen some incredible fishing on both those species up there. Not everybody's getting in on it. The Endeavors definitely had the lock on it out of Ventura Sport Fishing, whether Tucker McCombs has been running the boat or he took a couple days off and Daniel Hoddaway came in there, the guy that runs the Island Sphere, who we love so much. He did a great job also. So possibility for that for sure. There's also quite a bit of yellowtail starting to show up there in the Channel Islands right now. I know the Aloha Spirit and also the Gray Light have been focusing a lot of their attention on yellowtail up there in the Channel Islands. So we're seeing in those local islands, Anacapa, Santa Cruz, some pretty good calico bass fishing, some barracuda in there. And now we're starting to see yellowtail mixed up with that white sea bass and halibut. So that is a really good sign. Some private boaters who fish Santa Cruz Island and just so happen to be Friedman Adventure family members. And they are great guys. They said there is copious, their words, not mine, copious amounts of bait up there. They use sabiki rigs to catch sardines, and they caught Pacific and Spanish mackerel loaded up on their bait. and they turned it into those nice flatfish. Nice going, boys. From left to right, Parker Shaw, Blake Shaman, and Chris Prouse. You guys are number one. Love you guys. Thanks for your great support. So happy you had a lovely day on the water. No question about that. Island Spirit runs out of Ventura Sport Fishing. And you should think about getting on board because Daniel Hadaway always gives 197,000%. Big, roomy boat. Lots of fun. Kids fish free on Sundays. It's the very best. And they have room for you tomorrow on board the Island Spirit. And don't forget Sunday, kids fish free, 805-676-3474. Get on the Island Spirit. You can also book at VenturaSportFishing.com. No question about it. Don't forget September inside the harbor fishing with yours truly. That's going to be fun. Send me a text, 657-227-6459. Our local bite down in San Diego. Really good sand bass fishing has been going on down there. It's continuing. A little bit more spotty at times, but for the most part, a dropper loop with 15-pound fluoro and a good hot bait with a torpedo sinker like a 2 or 4 ounce has been instant. Limits of sand bass down there. Great calico bass fishing, but a lot of shorts around Dana. And here we still await our sand bass and barracuda bite. We've seen little spurts here and there, but we're still catching sculpin as we near the middle of August. That is weird if you ask me. Up there in Marina Del Rey, same kind of thing. A lot of bottom fish. Good bass fishing on their twilight trips up there. So not bad at all. Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California is your surf fishing headquarters. No question about it. They've got all the bait and tackle you'll need, but they've also got all kinds of heavy tackle for bluefin, tuna, marlin, whatever it is you are after. They can provide the gear you'll need to be successful at Big Fish Bait and Tackle. And also, don't forget all the baits you'll need, worms and all kinds of delectables that these little surf fish can't resist. Also, they're giving away a free custom surf fishing rod every single month. You can get all the details when you go to Big Fish. You got to go in there and buy the ruler that you'll use to measure your catch, and they'll give you all the details. Pretty good fishing in the surf right now, although it'd be a little difficult to finagle your way in here today, and those conditions not optimum, but this will lay down yellowfin croaker, some nice halibut fishing, good corbina fishing in the Southern California coast right now. And up there in the Santa Monica Bay, we see right around the Topaz Rock Jetty, down by the Redondo Pier, and all the way down the other in Rats Beach, we call it, some good corbina fishing there. Man, those things are a lot of fun to catch. It's been pretty darn good. All right, I don't know what to tell you other than it has been an absolute pleasure to have been with you all. Hopefully, we are going to see a lot more bluefin tuna, but I seriously don't know how it can get much better. The fall is going to be tremendous. 2 trips for you. On board the Apollo, C4 Sport Fishing San Diego. On board the Amigo, 22nd Street Landing, San Pedro, California. We've got those 2 trips. Send me a text if you want to get on board. And if you want to go fishing with a guide, 2 people can go. It's a lot of fun. Inside the harbor, I can't wait to do that. That's my favorite kind of fishing. That constant bass action. Nobody's going to get seasick. You're in the harbor, get to learn the whole game, and it's a lot of fun. I'll be spending some great time with each and every one of you. All right, have a great and beautiful Friday, a wonderful weekend, and as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.